Hello, Dota 2 fans, and welcome back, I should say, I suppose. We're in the round of 16, guys. Sorry, we're in the round of 8. What am I talking about? This is for all the marbles, if you will, quarterfinals. Top 4 teams make it through to the closed qualification for North America for ESL One Genting 2018. So it's a win and you're in scenario for both of these squads. Mind's Eye Dota, we followed them earlier on in their best of 1 in the round of 16. And they absolutely had their way with Intimidation Gaming, the Mexican team. They're up against Inverse at the moment. And I believe, if I just check quickly, this is the last non-American team. Yes, Inverse after the last non-American team left in these open qualifiers. MRP Mike Loris here to chronicle the action for you, Mike, as we get into the draft here. You think Inverse may be a bit of a taller challenge for Mind's Eye to take out here?
I hope so. If these games are like last games, then we're going to have like a freaking 2.5-hour break until we get to the next set. So that's something that nobody wants. Like, I don't want that. You don't want that. The players don't want that. The admins want that. God, got us again. But yeah, they did win their last game. Obviously, we didn't watch that one, so we're not really sure how that went. But, you just got to look towards the drafts. How much power can they get in their lanes? How snowbally could they potentially be? Do they have just some random niche amazing matchups? So far, the answer to that is no, not yet, at least to the matchup part. But for sure, we have a lot of power here from the Inverse side in the early game compared to what we saw in Mind's Eye's first game. Shadow Shaman Earth Spirit is a very deadly duo.
Definitely. So one that, Shadow Shaman, kind of a hero in his own right that can hold a safe lane down. Got great base damage, a good amount of lockdown, some new potential early on as well. And time and time again, we've seen the potential impact of the Earth Spirit into the early game. Mind's Eye Dota, kind of a very stable, very versatile, flexible opening from them with the Puck Rubik pickup. Rubik, and he's always going to be a good hero. He's always going to give you scenarios or the chance to make a big play with his ultimate, and of course in the lane, just having that instant cast point disable. And even to some extent, we something that we don't talk about all that often, but, the offensive potential now offered by Nullfield, it can certainly just give you that little bit of extra oomph, push yourself over the edge, grab an early kill. Puck, for obvious reasons, has kind of been a first phase worthy pick over the last few patches. Again, a theme that we've been touching upon repeatedly is the lanes, and Puck, a hero that you can pick up early on and flex to a few different positions in lane. Mind's Eye going to go with the instant response pick, this Abaddon in the Razor, and Razor kind of a hero that punishes any sort of run at you type of strat, and Earth Spirit Abaddon certainly fit that mold. So Mind's Eye looking to respond here with the Razor. Of course, now with the passive Unstable Current as well, I suppose chance to purge off the Aphotic Shield?
Does that actually work?
That's why I posed it as a question, Mike.
I mean, the thing dispels. I'm going to look up real fast because I can.
All right, you do it.
On my end. So I'm going to look up really fast if the Aphotic Shield is actually something that should work like that, but it should. And Unstable Current is definitely an interesting ability nowadays. Like, I used to give Razor a lot of shit because he's like, needs to be very offensive, but doesn't really have the capacity to be very offensive in certain situations. You really need good lanes. But in this particular scenario, assuming the lanes are going to be what I expect them to be, a Razor going towards a safe lane with the matchup of Abaddon, really, whether or not the shield does get purged off is dispellable, by the way, so it should work like that. But you have such a great matchup because of static link. Like, Abaddon, if he gets linked, he just has to run.
Yeah.
And he's just completely useless. You can't Aphotic Shield the damage back if you lose it. Like, that's just not how it works. So matchup-wise, that's going to be a lane where Mind's Eye don't need their supports after the first couple levels. So you have Rubik, you have obviously one other support who's going to be picked up, able to walk around and actually gank some heroes.
Yeah,
and looking at a very soft hero in the safe lane in Luna, definitely worth the time to go and gank her.
Certainly so. A hero that has to be up on the wave as well to be last hitting is that Luna, and is really good at fighting once she gets 6 or 7 levels. But in the early going, certainly very susceptible to any sort of aggressive motion her way. As you mentioned, almost wholly countering what the Abaddon tends to do. That Razor, he will allow his supports to be a little bit more free in where they look to gain advantage in the early game, and certainly that Luna's lane going to be high up on the pecking order for them. We are going to see the Mind's Eye Elder Titan here picked up, so could be a 4-position Elder Titan. Still, there is potential for the puck to be mid, although picked in the first phase would be a little odd. Either way, that Natural Order and the Astral Spirit just in general kind of fit the bill of being able to pressure this Luna early on. We'll see, if they give that Titan any more sort of attention in this early game. We did see in the first matchup for Mind's Eye that Ched Dota was left completely alone in the mid lane, and he certainly shone brightly in that matchup. So not something that they are afraid to do if last game is indicative of kind of their overall approach. Gyrocopter ban, Viper ban coming out from Inverse and Mind's Eye, respectively.
I wonder if Ched can play a Shadow Fiend, because right now you have Elder Titan, who obviously with the Natural Order gives you a lot of extra damage, both physical and magical. But you mentioned the Rubik's offensive no field puck very frequently picks up a Veil of Discord. You are working with an absolute truck ton of burst damage, and again, the heroes on the other end, namely this Luna, very susceptible to that style of damage. Of course, Shadow Shaman, Earth Spirit will just get obliterated by that. And the damage, if it is going to be used properly, sequenced correctly, like it's so much that even Abaddon, though his ultimate's going to keep him safe, he may not always get the chance to heal his allies and keep them safe. Would, of course, mean a 4-position ET, but for Mind's Eye, will be an OD instead. So a pretty good combo with what should now be a 4-position Elder Titan. Lots of setup, and being able to just bubble and put away an Abaddon or put away a Luna for just a little while is definitely some high value.
Yeah, it does synergize with the static link as well, the Astral Imprisonment, and in general, there's an abundance of control on the Mind's Eye side to kind of, it feels like for the most part, this draft is kind of made or tailored to facilitate the Razor's movement, and there is a lot in the way of control and a lot in the way of with Coil, Telekinesis, Echo Stomp, and Astral to allow him to get off a good link in these fights and continue to press forward. Good solution to the Abaddon as well. You mentioned just kind of banish him from the fight for a little bit, work on the cores while the Iphotic Shield is not a possibility. And so we see kind of a direct counter to OD, at least in the 1v1 vacuum, and that is going to be the Sniper pickup. OD, a little while ago when he was really strong after the changes to Astral, they nerfed that range heavily, that cast range, and for that reason, Sniper a pretty damn good pick against him early on. Can kind of last hit and poke him from distance without much response. But as we touched upon a lot earlier, the Razor having a good matchup 1v1 against the Abaddon is going to mean that we will likely see some roaming in towards Ched's lane in this one. So kind of similar in vein to your SF pick. The one thing I would say, very different between the two is that OD, not a great building hitter, where SF certainly would have kind of filled that gap in their lineup.
OD is that definitely comes out of the gate a little bit slower as well. In the game as a whole, and also just in the fights, like you are going up against some really, really dangerous heroes on the other end, namely the support crew from the inverse side. If you're Hexed or if you're silenced at all as OD, then man, you are going to be very, very sad. Like it is a type of hero that can, if given the right situation, manhandle Luna or a Sniper in the 1v1 duel, but there are just so many things that are going to be interfering with that. So the OD definitely does have to rely a lot upon the ET, and it does look like this game, at least for Mind's Eye, does revolve a lot around this ET, and the Rubik combo is a great hero to kind of activate this hero, but you really need that kind of that disable in the front lines. The ET and the puck, they're going to just all or do none of it for the Mind's Eye side. If they are able to land their coils, land their stomps, then getting into a good position versus the Sniper in particular man, that can be just game ending. But
Yeah.
if you aren't able to land them, well, then you're going to be in for a tough time position-wise.
Yeah, as I was mentioning with the Razor before, it feels like it's kind of, the intention is that kind of you just have a mindless game for your Razor and OD. And as long as the supporting cast in the Puck, Rubik, and Elder Titan can land their spells with some degree of synergy, it should be a really easy game for the cores. Already deep in the bottom lane is the Abaddon, and Dire side did get down some warding off in this off lane. He'll find himself a little nook in the trees for now. Fuzzy actually hovering around, so it's almost like he sniffed something here. Stream is delayed, guys, so don't worry, he's not looking at it.
Don't move. Razor's vision is based on movement. Oh, did you see him?
He found him. All right.
Oh, that's not the escape path either. That takes the time.
Static Link's going to be there. They got the telekinesis as well. Throw out the aphotic shield, and that'll keep him alive for now. But the body blocks are there. Big right clicks coming through as well. Obviously, a huge cooldown on the telekinesis at level 1, and he will be able to make it back to safety. But no salve on his person at the moment. Top lane, Echo Stomp does actually miss after the Astral Imprisonment. Trying to body block up the Luna, though. Still getting a lot of damage through. Rolling Boulder comes out. Aesthetics with a couple more right clicks, and now they'll turn into the ES. So overall, the war of regen, I suppose you could say, won by the Radiant side thus far. Inverse after for the Dire, the last standing non-American team in these Open Qualifiers. And we'll see if the world's last hope can take out the Americans.
Luckily, it's America versus the world. Just like it always has been. But as you were saying, like the damage trade, the ability to pull out that regen definitely does work very well for the Radiant side, and they're actually not stopping. I Choose You is going to get orbed, and he has a rollout, and it looks like he'll be fine, so no casualties just yet, but it is going to kind of bode ill, at least from where I'm standing, the fact that they had such a perfectly clean setup possible on that Luna with the Imprison into a Stomp. First one, and they missed it. I'm not too familiar with these guys, but I feel like you should kind of have to be able to land that if you're going to make this type of draft work. Yeah,
I mean, since they added the kind of indicators, after status resistance and all that, feels like should be a landable combo. But, Titan is not necessarily a hero that, 4 positions, even in pro play, will be, given the privilege of handling all that often. I do like the decision early to put the Puck alongside this Titan. So we talked about, how much they can afford in the lanes as far as variability. But that Titan, speaking of which, he's going to be the first to fall on this map. And you did talk about the potency of this support duo in the Earth Spirit and Shadow Shaman. And for now, they'll work in tandem up towards top lane, where they will net themselves a kill. But this is going to mean that, in the other lanes, for now, there is no presence of the Earth Spirit. And Titan makes his way towards mid. Has an Echo Stomp ready. Again, this Astral Imprisonment range, it's a very short as far as the cast range goes. And actually, the Sniper getting a lot done as far as last hitting in this mid lane.
Is going to be a little bit of a rough, like, levels 1 through 3 for the Sniper. It generally is. His base damage is just absolutely terrible despite having the best attack animation in the world. So, God's Gift is going to arrive, and 4 position Elder Titan is not really great at zoning out a hero like a Sniper. So, and that's the part where Elder Titan really does want to combo up with that Rubik and land those telekinesis into stun combos. If you're able to land it on the Abaddon, like right we saw in the bottom lane, maybe not a kill, but a forced TP, a forced salve, like all these small moves that you can make to just pull resources out of this hero. And God's Gift is certainly looking for it right now, but currently as it stands, Radiant doing pretty darn well in the CS department. Puck has 10 up towards top lane. Razor and OD are doing just fine, and the Abaddon, even though he's not really that pressured outside of these static lanes, he's really hurting in the resources and now is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, they will go out, and immediately the aphotic shield going to be removed. Couple right clicks, they'll ensure the Razor gets the kill, and his first rotation down towards the bottom lane will bear fruit. Meanwhile, Aesthetics doing pretty damn well top lane, even minus his Titan. 11 CS on the Puck, and certainly the Dire have already kind of proven to be a more formidable foe than Intimidation Gaming was for Mind's Eye. But the early game, all in all, going rather swimmingly for the Radiant.
Rubik just trying to get those levels up. ET as well. The hero doesn't really need a lot of levels to be effective necessarily, but if you do get additional levels, you get so much more effective because you just do so much more damage. So God's Gift still gonna camp around this bottom lane. We got Aesthetics running into the Shadow Shaman, takes a shock for his troubles. Still a very dangerous lane for Puck. I'm actually very surprised that he's able to get this much, because if you get caught with a single disable, really no matter what the disable is, with the Luna there, you're just gonna die. Like, you have to orb and phase shift, only level 1 phase shift, you probably just get a couple right clicks applied to you, but oh, Corito in mid is maybe fine because Ched blows it a little bit, maybe?
They've got 2 supports inbound as well, and it's almost as if this OD is being baited. Shrapnel gonna go forward. Ched making a play over to the east. The Rubik Boulder Smash flies out. Well, Shackles will connect on the Rubik. No one really in position just yet to aggress towards him, and the stop hits on everyone. Avatar still does end up going down. Ched looking for the return kill on Kirito, and the Hex going out onto the Titan. Is going to try and keep the sniper up, and they will be able to do so. Ched now getting the Imprison off, but Kirito salving up. Elder Titan going to drop to his right clicks. Fade Bolt coming through. Fairy Fire is there. Sniper does end up going down first. Shadow Shaman will clean up the OD. Roll forward onto the Rubik. He wants to kill on the Shadow Shaman. Can't get it done with the slow from the Rolling Boulder being there. They do end up getting the Sniper down first. They did lose their Rubik, however, before all that happened, and afterwards lose their OD as well. So when all is said and done, good trade for the Dire side, but unfortunately for the Sniper, he has dropped before the OD.
Yeah, I mean, the Elder Titan combo is really powerful, but you do land it, and then kind of nothing happens. The OD is stuck downriver with up hills on both sides, so he missed quite a few of those attacks there. I'm not really sure if it would have changed the tide of the fight. They're going to go for Abaddon, though. Much easier target, so if you have some trouble, if you take a rough fight, just go kill the heroes that are really easy to kill. So there you go, Radiant side. But we see the power of just the Sniper, being able to just kite back slowly but surely. Not really a super fast hero, but with Shrapnel level 3, he has such a movement speed advantage over anyone who's going to come into his lane. So really, really tough situation there for the Radiant, and the Dire get a really great exchange.
Yeah, I mean, 140 damage absorbed on that level 2 Aphotic Shield, 115 damage stolen by the Static Link. 1 right click takes that out, and yeah, they've killed the Abaddon a few different times in this one. Sentry Ward mid lane was down, but under the cover of smoke, 2 heroes encroach upon the Sniper. Imprison will come out. Boulder Smash will be one to keep them at bay, and now the Shackle coming through with a couple right clicks. The Titan's tanky, but the Shrapnel and the Ether Shock finishing him off. Now Ched walking through the Shrapnel. He's going to get rolling bouldered up. They're TPing in slowly on the Razor, and Ched could be in trouble trying to make work of the Abaddon, though. ALCN in trouble again. Is forced to Aphotic Shield. Need 2 right clicks to kill him off. Razor will get it. And looking for the Sniper, he gets him as well with the vision from the Plasma Field. The value point in Plasma Field allows him to get the second kill, and a very successful rotation from the Razor, as not only does he grab himself a pair of kills, but effectively saves his Outworld Devourer's life in that mid lane. And now bottom, he's going to drop the ulti again, and what's really stopping him at this point, as with the Eye of the Storm, he takes out the Abaddon. Meanwhile, top lane, they get the Luna as well, with Rubik rotating in. Aesthetics expending the first Dream Coil, and we did see a lot of, you know, jockeying for position around that mid lane where they look to protect their Sniper, and in the meantime, Puck all by his lonesome, top lane, 30 CS, almost level 7 at this point, and is half a level ahead of the Luna, so gets himself a big kill there.
Easily a 1 lane for the Radiant side, top lane that is. This Puck is only 600 behind the Luna, is, well, 3rd, 4th with his OD. They're shuffling around a little bit, but has so much more net worth than a Puck really should. And as you said, that's mostly because of the situation we have over in that mid lane. Everyone's partying there because of this situation on bottom, where Fuzzy Sloth is going to get the Abaddon again. Clips though,
yeah,
does some damage.
Big return kill, as maybe a little fortunate as far as the bounces go. I don't know, the other Titan may have even been sitting in fog, so it could have just been, you know, 100% all into the Razor regardless, but that is a massive kill for them to get on the Razor for the Luna. Looking for more now. Lucent Beam will find her a second. And just with the Razor kill alone, 800 plus gold 700 plus experience going the way of that Luna. And as the Radiant safe laner makes his first big rotation, Luna off of death will make hers for the Dire. 9-7 here, 9 minutes in. Fuzzy Sloth returns towards bottom with an Aquila and Dragonlance in hand.
I just realized that the sniper, even though he survived throughout like all that shit happened in the mid lane, he actually didn't get any of those kills. So he has 4 assists, and he still has less net worth than the OD. Matchup should be pretty advantageous moving forward, even as the laning phase kind of starts to break down. But you definitely do want to have at least a sniper at parity with the OD, and he's pretty substantially behind. Smokes on bottom will pass one another.
Looks like these teams are pretty evenly skilled, huh? Literally mirrored movements.
Pretty good for the Radiant, though, because I'm not really sure about smoking without the Eclipse here. Luna's powerful, but Shadow Shaman's disables in a scenario like this would be pretty darn weak.
Yeah, you echoed my thoughts exactly as when I saw them smoking. Like, did they just use Eclipse here? Echo Stomp, though, is going to connect on the Earth Spirit. Although the Dire side thinking about converging on the enemy here, as they do have vision in the area. So would still be not a terrible fight for them to take. Lucent Beam will fly out onto the Titan. Second Shrapnel goes out, but the Plasma Field from Fuzzy is going to keep them back. Echo Stomp will find the Luna. Abaddon nearby, though. Fuzzy Sloth, again, needs to be careful not to end up dying here. Coil connects onto 2. Aesthetics through with the Waning Rift. He'll get a second kill onto the Luna, roll away from the Earth Spirit. And now OD chasing towards the north for the sniper. Should get him in one last right click. He will. Double kill for the OD with a timely haste rune on his person. And a nice play from Fuzzy, really understanding his relative bulk at this point in the game. Saving his Elder Titan and turning the fight with quick reactions from the Radiant, teeping in the puck to the shrine. And they'll get a big win there in the bottom half of the map. And again, to your point, Mike, looking to fight immediately, perhaps with some sort of, you know, surprise factor, but without the Eclipse. And we saw definitely a lack of damage there, even fighting in a choke for the Dire.
Dude, Fuzzy Sloth is just going off. Like, we've only seen him in 2 games now. Playing CK and Razor, but kind of playing the exact same hero. Like, he's getting very, very involved. And as those type of heroes, you do get rewarded pretty substantially for getting involved. Like, Razor's not a farmer. He's a hero that just wants to get a couple of items, a couple of levels, and then he wants to smash your face in with Static Link. The longer you sit back, the most likely further behind you're going to get, but he's getting very, very involved in 9 kills, 2 assists. He might get jacked up here, but you know what? Shit happens. He's still been doing a lot for the safe lane.
Lucent Beam connects. He will be able to dodge the Rolling Boulder into the trees. He'll go get the Static Link off, but the Hex and the Shackle are there. But the Stomp from the Creep, and now the TP and Telekinesis there. Echo Stomp finds him as well. He's still alive. Fuzzy Sloth, triple kill. Oh my, and even the all chat.
Oh my god.
Spamming of thanks from the Razor. Feels bad, man. Comes out for the Luna, and not only is it a disaster in the bottom lane, but it's their second smoke in about a minute and a half, so more than likely they'll be low or out of smokes for the next little while, and that is a major detriment to their ability to fight, you know, in some sort of advantageous situation going forward. Now top lane, Sniper in trouble. He's gonna get Echo Stomped. Earth Splitter will fly. Orb hits almost simultaneously. Waning Rift is there, and every cylinder firing right now for the Radiant side, including the deal that they set up evidently with that Centaur Conqueror in the bottom lane.
Dude, there's 2 types of shit happens, right? There's one where you step in some you know, Forrest Gump dog, you know, that type of shit happens. And then there's shit happens where you come back home and you find that your house burned down when you're away. Like, there's a very large difference there, and I have never seen a neutral make that big of a splash. They're gonna teleport in, try to defend this bottom lane. Abaddon.
Yeah, Rubik in trouble, but the 2-man Waning Rift and Coil is there. They'll try to get out on the Shadow Shaman. They will be able to banish him up, and he'll fall. The Sanity's Eclipse connects on both. They'll get the Abaddon 2-for-1 special in the bottom lane. And the Radiant, I mean, yeah, he's still alive, Mike, the Centaur, and I think hopefully, you know, they won't kill him for the rest of this one. Yeah.
Give him a medal.
He has, like, certainly...
He actually just destroyed that gank. Otherwise, Razor is easily dead. I don't know how much money he gives, but I mean, he's worth the most in the game, so I would assume quite a bit. They walk away. They probably still would be able to like cast Eclipse if more enemy heroes come in. That Centaur just gave them a gigantic middle finger.
Rough, man. Very rough if you are the Dire side. It is a best-of-3 format, and not to say that this game by any means is over, considering we do have a sniper on the Dire side, one of the better high-ground defending heroes in the game, but the advantage is immense at this point for the Radiant, and feels like, in part, you know, that little happenstance with the Centaur certainly kind of accelerating them to this position, despite already having a lead. It is 15 minutes in, and that lead is to the tone of 10K net worth here. Puck got a lot in the top lane. You know, all the movements, as you mentioned, from Fuzzy seem to do work. And, you know, where we saw Ched Dota kind of being the MVP in Game 1, this team may be proving to be a little multi-dimensional here, with Ched, you know, not having the greatest show out early on his OD, having his other contributors, as far as his teammates go, pick up the slack is definitely a luxury not all teams can afford in this kind of open qualifier format. But starting to push in towards the mid lane with their advantage, and Ched, speaking of which, finds a banish over on the east side on the Abat, and now Aesthetic's going to jump forward. Eclipse does pop out, a lot of it hitting on the Razor, but Fuzzy Sloth very tanky at this point. Earth Splitter going to whiff, but not even going to be needed. As the Assassinate flies out, Fuzzy ticking, but they will get off the banish. Still, though, Magnetized, trying to kill him off. Erntick will be there, and looks like he'll be able to make it back towards safely. Creep almost getting one back for the Dire side there with the stomp from the Ancient Prowler, but for now he survives. And now, yeah, kick forward from the Earth Spirit. Trying to get him in for that last right click with the effective Force Staff. Now the ward's going to be popped off. Echo Stomp kills off the Shaman easily. And they find the banish up onto the Abaddon. Jumping forward with the Mask of Madness into the Telekinesis. And the big puck combo is the Luna. She just wanted an OD kill. But no Christmas present for her, as she'll just get a stocking full of death in the bottom lane.
How many deaths is that? I mean, all of them are dead right now, so it's at least 5, but it was like 7, 8 versus the 2 deaths of 2 supports on the Radiant side. Like, that type of fight where you're just throwing bodies in again and again and again. Your Luna dies twice. I think the Abaddon died twice also. That is so tilted. Like, it is so easy to say, F this game, we're out. We threw 8 heroes at them, and we got 2 kills, lost everyone. I hope that the Dire can remain composed, because, as you said, like, they do have decent enough high ground defense. They do have decent enough flash farming. Luna, of course, with those glaives. But the pressure is certainly on. Like, Razor has not pulled any punches in his item build, not going to go for anything super greedy or anything like that, going for very, very value items, very cost-effective items. Puck's not messing around either, just going straight initiation. OD is, you know, messing around a little bit with his Hand of Midas, but still being able to level up quicker as an OD, that is such high value. It's a pretty offensive item for this hero in particular, as opposed to some other heroes. So the Radiant are in a position to take this 16k lead and just keep on pushing with it. The biggest downside being they don't really push towers all that well, but they could just keep winning team fights over and over again, and maybe even get like a demoralization GG out of the Dire here.
Yeah, the level distribution is crazy. You're speaking of the Midas, but just by virtue of kills, you know, the 3 cores are, you know, out-leveling their opposites by, you know, 3 levels each, essentially. And not only that, you know, the Rubik nipping at the heels of the Luna, same level as the Sniper at this point. So it just has been a bloodbath, and almost all the blood spilled in the name of the Radiant squad thus far. And yeah, as you touched upon, I mean, Midas to some extent greedy. With the OD, though, you know, him benefiting from attack speed so heavily, he can kind of afford to get away with this. And in a game where you're out-leveling the opponents, you know, having extra levels in Sanity's Eclipse only ensures it's going to do even more damage. As bottom, they find out the Luna. Waning Rift is there. She's popped the Mask of Madness, though, so doing quite a bit of damage. And in fact, Aesthetics is going to be forced to blink down defensively, but still, nothing yielded as far as kills go for the Dire side, and looks like everyone will be able to extract themselves from any further danger for the Radiant. Begin to start to push in all 3 lanes simultaneously. Still 2 tier 2s standing for the Dire side. And again, they are a sniper lineup, so high ground, no easy feat regardless of kind of advantage. But likely we'll see the Radiant be shoving in all these lanes and taking a look at Roshan here shortly.
OD picking up a pretty uncommon item as far as builds that are concerned for OD. 9 times out of 10, I feel like it's Hurricane Pike at this point, just the straight upgrade to the Force Staff, but instead gonna go for a Shadow Blade. I mean, they're both positional based items, and we mentioned how important it is to get good positioning on the Sniper, on the Luna, and being able to take them out. This is going to put a little bit more of a strain on the support's gold pool, and we'll use it to gank the Luna first thing.
They have the Echo Stomp there as well. Echo Stomp did not connect. That was lovely. But they'll get the kill regardless. And actually, bit of fortune for the OD. They had a sentry here, the Dire side did, and he opted to walk down this way as opposed to taking the high ground over the east. And for that reason, he did not run into the Shadow Shaman. But either way, just looking to make plays with his Shadow Blade here alongside the puck. Allow Fuzzy to just, you know, continue to kind of shove in the lanes and serve the purpose of kind of tank and bait for initiation. So right now, pincered into a very small section of the map, Kirito and his squad, as the Sniper tries to farm effectively what's the safest place other than their own base, you know, right on top of his shrine over to the east.
OD, I thought he was maybe gonna go whole hog into that Silver Edge. Try to nuke down some Abaddons. Your borrow time does not passively activate if you're broken. You have to manually activate it, and you can't manually activate it if you're disabled.
If you just die, yeah.
Maybe it's not worth the effort, and it definitely isn't worth the effort. But man, still the OD is working some serious net worth. The Razor has a BKB flying out to him. Yeah, it's a full BKB. Oh, there is not enough physical damage to kill off a Razor who is magic immune. Maybe if he's sitting in Serpent Wards, maybe.
But has phase boots, so I mean that is a kind of a long shot. I'd agree with you, and they even have a blink on the Rubik at this point. So good set of wards. Maybe even get him stolen, help you out as far as pushing goes. Who knows? Still though, lots available aside from that.
Again. Is it really gonna get killed off by 2 supports? Now, that feels bad, man.
Yeah, the entire game certainly has for this Abaddon sitting on earn phase boots at this point in the game. Is he looking towards the Radiance? He's got 2,300 gold, but seems like rather optimistic.
If you can get it, I mean, obviously up against a Razor, up against an OD, I mean, these heroes, they will have spell immunity, to the Radiance Burn. They don't really have, or they usually don't get many ways of actually having True Strike, so that is a very high value item, not to mention the fact that it helps you farm much faster. But given the pace of this game, I don't think he's ever going to get that. So I think it's probably time to get something else, something to maybe help your Luna survive a little bit more, maybe help your Sniper survive. Try to get more Force Staffs on the team, perhaps. Neither of these 2 heroes have that. In fact, no one seems like they're building it on the Dire side. A Force Staff away against a Razor can just immediately stop a team fight. So, I don't know if that's really the way you want to go if you want to win. That's kind of a itemized to not lose style, but it doesn't seem like there are many great options here for the Abaddon.
Yeah, in lane they jump in with the coil, and they've got the telekinesis available. No, the silence is there from the Earth Spirit, but they get the Luna.
She snapped the coil. She
just
was
ran
fine,
up,
and she snapped the coil.
Ran a little too far up and towards the high ground. You forget that, you know, all of the damage from Dream Coil shifted away from kind of on initiation and then coil snap all to snap, and she ends up dying for it. I don't know. There's a Aphotic Shield thrown onto the Abaddon as well, so maybe a couple of misplays there, but they'll get a Luna kill regardless, and wisely so after taking out all the tier 2s. Seeing some very disciplined play from the Radiant. They get down 3 deep wards, and they'll take a look at the Roche, which should be absolutely free, even though they're not great with a Razor OD dual core at taking it. Razor OD puck tri-core, very slow. Roche attempt it is, but they'll get it, as really defense can't be mounted without their Luna for the Dire side.
Building up some base-breaking items here. Namely, this Razor's next item, the Echo Receptor. OD and Puck are pretty much never going to be able to push towers, but for sure getting that Razor, that item, can be a lot of momentum. And oh, speaking of momentum, here's more kills. Here's more int. Ched is going to grab it in 3 shots. Easiest kill of their life, and what is this? I can't even tell what these wards are, but either way, someone has a sentry up there. It's not working.
Top lane aesthetics, I mean, you know when you're a Puck trading with an Abaddon, you're probably out-leveling him. And at this point, he is just...
cancel a TP.
Yeah. Hanging around with his Yule Scepter. It's ensuring that he can't get back to base, but... With the phase boots, Abaddon making a run for it. Jaunt over to the east. Phase shift is going to be there. And now, yeah, everyone is left mid lane, and the Abaddon... Well... trying to make a run for the tree line. Yule Scepter will be there. Purges off the Aphotic Shield. And Illusory Orb will give them the vision. Borrowed Time Pass. He'll go for the TP out. Coil will cancel it. And Ched will gladly take a few right clicks in for the Arcane Orb steal. 50 seconds on the sideline for the Abaddon. No buybacks available. Titan going to TP in towards the bot lane. And even their tier 1, 25 minutes, they'll be stingy about giving that up. As into the Shadow Blade, Ched will go, looking for a Luna. Not going to find that one in the trees. Nearby, though, they maybe find a little poor Shadow Shaman who gets a Hex off. Tries to waddle away. Spirit will be thrown out to keep contain, if you will. And Ched finds himself another kill on the OD. So max mobility build right now for Ched Dota. They feel more than enough just with their levels as far as damage goes. And Shadow Blade, Hurricane Pike, and Blink. He's just looking to be everywhere he's needed. Making his way over towards the top lane where Fuzzy is potentially setting up here on a Luna. There is a sentry nearby, but no observer on top of it. So able to blink forward for Ched. Looking to go in onto the Luna. Easy kill for that dual core. And without the Shadow Shaman, you know, Earth Spirit rather far behind, it would be extremely difficult to counter-initiate into that. So they'll look to force this buyback here. Luna does have it available. And up to the high ground, Ched will go with the Hurricane Pike. No vision left for that last right click, but gets a little bit of steal off. Now he'll get some vision back. Pops the borrowed time here.
Thank you so much.
Dude, he got borrowed time procced, and then all the rest of the orbs just missed on the high ground.
Doesn't even get the heal. That's just how this game has gone. Wards are going to be dropped down. They do end up getting down the Rubik with the Mask of Madness from the Sniper. Actually doing a lot of work. 10 seconds until the Luna respawns. And wards were dropped, but still feels like they're, you know, in the best kind of position they have been in the last little while with potentially a 5v4 here.
But here comes the Ags
Yeah.
Laser, so he can start actually chipping away at these structures. And again, the Orb Salvo this time will not miss, even though quite a few did. So OD playing his best sniper.
There you go.
Why pick
Jump
sniper?
forward. Ched into the Sandy's Eclipse. Force Staff. He'll get the kill. He will die for it here. And they forced out the Sniper buyback. Big Stomp connects onto a couple. The Earth Splitter will kill off the Shadow Shaman. And now Ched, after respawn, forces himself to Astral, and coming through with the BKB is Fuzzy. Aghanim's activated as well. He's likely going to drop here as Assassinate flies out, and he will. Ched goes down as well, and a little bit of perhaps overconfidence from the Radiant side. They'll get punished heavily for it. Meanwhile, the Siege Creep does take out the Tier 3 top lane, so at least Shrines are available to them. They do cost 3 buybacks. Cost the Dire 3 buybacks, I should say. But I suppose you could call that a successful defense. It's 12,000, almost 13,000 experience, and still net 2,500 or 2,600 positive gold going the way of the Dire, even after those 3 buybacks.
I mean, the gains there for the Dire is nice, though you gotta look at it from the point of view of now the Dire don't have buybacks, so next time that happens, they're screwed. And that 2k deficit, like that little bit of experience swing, though it is nice, is barely a dent in the overall advantage that the Radiant have. So they just gave away a little bit of their advantage to make sure that next push is going to be the Doom push. Although they will find the Rubik, random Sentry Ward from earlier. Do they have more? Looks like they have enough. Not invisible anymore.
A couple of glaives will finish him off, and that will further stymie the attempts at ending the game from the Radiant side. But yes, as you mentioned, we're looking at a 6+ minute period here with buybacks unavailable to the Dire. So
they get the tower. Luna and Shadow Shaman, Sniper, Abaddon, these are all really good pushing heroes. The fact that they only take one tier 1 in 30 minutes is not exactly ideal. Like, every single Serpent Ward has been not used to push towers, like maybe one kind of, but it was stopped very quickly. So Radiant team definitely doing a good job at protecting their assets.
Top lane, ward plopped down by the shrine, and shrines likely will be the key targets in this downtime where Roche is not available for the Radiant. So they'll push their waves in, ensure that the Dire are playing relatively blind, and then likely look to take out these structures. As smoked up, Fuzzy Sloth going to make his way towards the Dire base. Top lane, there's no tier 3, so they may think about going in, but the sentry is already prepared here, and still under the cover of smoke, unseen. Radiant lineup.
Oh, the OD breaks his smoke with Shadow Blade. That's unfortunate.
So they had to have caught a glimpse of him there either way. There's no disruptor in this game, so they can't glimpse him back. And pushing the waves in, retreating for the shrine, thinking about Roche. Soon will be this Radiant lineup as the Dire. Really, there is no counterplay to this. Aghanim's going to be popped by Fuzzy Sloth. And Ched trolling him by aggroing the creeps. But they'll take out the shrine. Another thing to mention about that Ags is it does help them take Roche. Whereas they're pretty damn bad at it, generally. So there will be a cheese on this Roche. Roche is to spawn in 52 seconds minimum.
They have a hard contain, or a pretty hard contain. Luna's still sneaking down to these bottom lane, the bottom half of the map, and again, she can blow up these waves very quickly despite not having really many damage items. So at least she's getting something, but I mean, look at her net worth. Like, the Razor's doubling the Luna's net worth. Even with like a full eclipse, if it will land on a Razor, I'm pretty sure the Razor wins that fight in a 1v1 scenario. The Radiant team are just getting more gold. Like, you look at the gold chart, that little dip is that kind of botched team fight as they dove to tier 4s.
Ched jumping forward again.
Slow climb.
Well, he's forced to pop his BKB here. They get the telekinesis off onto the Abaddon. Ched is going to be able to banish him. Earth Splitter will not connect, but it'll force back most of their lineup. Meanwhile, on the north side, Coil does fly out, but the Glimmer Cape going to keep the Sniper alive for now. Fuzzy working on the range racks in the meantime. Everyone pretty low, though, from the Radiant side. And once again, it looks as if they have to back out here. Silence goes out onto the puck, but he's still able to scurry away. And now with the Hurricane Pike right-clicks, they'll take out the Shadow Shaman. And finally, they do get their first kill. Wards have been deployed as well. So really just need to reset and get healthy here for the Radiant, as you alluded to before. There are no buybacks left, but Ched going to jump forward with the Hurricane Pike. Sanity's Eclipse onto 4, kills off the Luna. ALCN does have his borrowed time, but now finding the Sniper in the backlines was Aesthetics. And Ched working on the Abaddon. 3 heroes dead, none of which have buyback. GG going to be called here, as finally the Dire side opt to leave this miserable Game 1. And the last standing hope for Mexico and anyone but America, for now, going to be on the back foot, as Ched, Avatar, and their crew are able to net themselves a Game 1 victory. Mike, can we really attribute this to anything more than just the lanes going horribly for the Dire side?
It was the lanes kind of for the Radiant initially starting out well, but it was, I think, a lot of this game coming down to the rotations and the responses that we had from both sides. Like, Inverse, they can teleport in an Eclipse and an Abaddon, and usually those are very strong, but Fuzzy Sloth, whenever he made a rotation in, and whenever Aesthetics made the rotation in, they just caused such a larger splash in those fights, especially this Razor. Again, I am not a fan of Razor on record. I've given him so much shit, but this is how you play Razor. This is how you get ahead and stay ahead, just by constantly fighting, making those rotations, making those turnarounds, and Fuzzy Sloth just put up a clinic.
Yeah, he played well earlier today on the CK, but I think as you touched upon it, the first rotation into the mid lane for him net a double kill and saved his OD's life. The attempt on his life bottom lane, he ends up getting a triple kill. Centaur Conqueror kind of helping out, but you said rotations. I mean, just look at the assist tallies: 20 and 23 on the Elder Titan and Rubik, respectively. On the other side of the fence, you've got 8 and 5 on the Earth Spirit and Shadow Shaman. Of course, just a lot less kills going their way, but that support duo, as well as Aesthetics, who had a great lane on his puck, really doing work for Mind's Eye in this game 1. They'll take the victory here. It is a best-of-3 format, guys. Winner is in to the closed qualifiers for ESL One Genting 2018. Stick around. Game 2 coming up here. Mike Loris, MRP, ESL, join Dota Blue. We'll be back shortly, guys.